Yes, good afternoon. Hi, guys.
Afternoon to you.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Uh, thank you. My name is David. I will be taking you introduction to computing and ethics, and we shall be introducing ourselves to the digital world so that we can be able to understand exactly what happens in this technology world and computers. So, but before we do that, I want us to uh, to 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 see who is absent. Francis, are you present?
yes, I'm present.
Mr. Mark, class rep Dan, I can see he has not joined yet. I hope he will be able to join us as we proceed, but we will not be waiting him. So on my screen, I'm going to share with you a presentation I have prepared concerning this unit of Introduction to ICT. And, Introduction to ICT, that is the subject. We are going to begin with some definition of terms here so that we can be able to know exactly what we are doing. This forms the backbone of this subject, so I would advise we be very careful when we listen to these particular definitions. So, but before we look at this, what is written here, somebody can tell us what computer is. What is a computer? Who can tell us what is a computer? Because this unit is mostly majoring on computers.
Maybe I can try.
Yes?
Computer parts, hardware and software. And the hardware, those that help to conduct the signal and all those. And the software, the system part of it, which help the processing of all the instructions the hardware.
Thank you very much, Mr. Francis. That is very correct. So, a computer is simply an electronic device that will accept in data, process that data, and give us information. And that is what you can see on my slide. The first definition we are going to look at is the term data. What do we mean by data? Data simply means they are the raw facts and concepts or instructions in a formalized manner that is suitable for communication. But something that I may add is that this data does not really make a very meaningful information, or maybe it cannot be able to be used in decision making. Therefore, it needs to be processed. Now, the processing is whereby it includes the conversion of raw data to machine readable form and flow of data through the CPU and memory to the output devices. So that is what we refer to as processing. Maybe is whereby we change the data into information so that we can be able to make decision. This automatically tells you that information is something that has meaning and can be used for decision making. Yeah, so that is the main three terms that I wanted us to understand first so that we can look at the other ones like communication. When you talk of communication, I think this is a very common word. I believe Mr. Mark can be able to tell us what he understands by the term communication. It's a general term. Mr. Mark? Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Mark. So, simply as he has said, it's very correct. Communication is just whereby you're able to pass a message from computer A to another or from one person to another. Now, for us to be able to pass this message from one person to another in a very convenient and efficient manner, that is where now technology comes in. And technology simply means we are applying science to achieve this particular objective. Then we combine the two, information and technology. Now that is where where we incorporate science and the systems that we have to convert that data and to be able to put it into exactly points that we need it to be. So that means that we are able to move it from point A to point B with a lot of reliability and efficiency. Now, from that, I want us to look at something that we call the uses, the applications of ICT. And we know that in the current world, we use a lot of ICT to achieve most of the things, but we may not be able to notice until you give it a very, very close look. Like, for example, we use ICT in telecommunications, just like we have concluded. You need ICT to facilitate the communication of message from one point A to point B with speed and efficiency. Then we also use ICT in education. Maybe somebody can give us or can explain to us how we use or how we apply ICT in education. Yeah, somebody just to give us an example or explain how we can apply education. Yes, Francis.
ICT people can be able to learn our own way at a very fast distance. Remember during the COVID, people were able to learn through their government. So that is the technology.
Yes, thank you very much. He has brought us a very important aspect. Like when you remember the era of COVID-19, most schools were closed physically, but they were open because we were able to reach to you students regardless of the distance by the use of ICT, that is the computers and the internet. So that is a very, very good example that he has brought. Even as we are doing now, I think the closest person I'm to is around 100 kilometers, and you're able to hold this session regardless of the distance and the place you are. You are able to attend this class. That is the beauty of ICT when it comes to education. We have seen people attend classes in the US and graduate when they are still here in Nairobi. So it has been very, very efficient and very, very great when it comes to the impacts of ICT to the education. Then the next one I want us to look at is the way the ICT has influenced the public sector. So the public sector, we know, of course, we have some things like the government accountability. We know nowadays we have management information systems for the government, the procurement systems, so that we can be able to bring accountability and transparency. Even in nowadays, most of the cities they have implemented the car parking system. When you are in town, you don't have to wait; you just pay using mobile transactions, and you're able to secure your parking. That is the public sector, the ICT effects. Then in agriculture, who can tell us how the ICT has impacted agriculture? Maybe Mr. Mark can be able to tell us something about this, about how ICT has impacted the agriculture sector. Yes.
About they are respecting the rain, water, the seed, right? So in that, the farmers have to plant and be educated on the best seeds based on the expected.
Yes, very true. So when you talk of the GMOs, when you talk of the weather forecasting, that is something that is tool that is used highly by the farmers to be able to predict when they can be able to prepare their farms, which is the best type of seed to plant depending with the type of rains we are expecting, and so on and so on. And finally, I want us to look at the impacts of ICT in transport system. We are able to book. When you talk of transport systems, the ICT allow us to book even for flights. You don't have to physically be there. When you want to travel to Mombasa, for example, you can also be able to secure yourself an SGR ticket or a bus ticket nowadays. Even I was surprised when I was going some other day, I was going to Kitale. I had to book. I booked and I was scheduled. My seat was prepared and I was allocated a seat in a bus. So this is the impacts of ICT in transport systems. Then we also have the traffic lights. The traffic lights, the red, green, and orange. They are also part of the ICT. They control traffic and they bring sanity on our roads. So that is something that I wanted us to look at, and I'm very happy that we have been able to participate. So before we close, I'm going to give you an assignment. I want you to go and explain at least 5 impacts of ICT to the current society, so that we can be able to see how far we have come. So I want to thank you all. I want to end my session at this particular time because of time. I have another session that I'm attending. So I want to thank you all for attending and kindly talk to those who are absent so that next time they don't miss out. Otherwise, they will be able. I will be no, I will not be able to give them the end term exams for missing classes. Thank you. Have a nice time.